Welcome to This Week in Crowder College, an in-depth look into how Crowder College students, faculty, and staff are working together so students soar to new heights, communities are impacted, and lives are changed. This Week in Crowder College is sponsored by the law offices of Wood and Peterson in Neosho, specializing in workers' compensation, personal injury, Social Security disability, and more. Learn more online at neoshoattorney.com. Now here's this week's edition of This Week in Crowder College.
Hey there, Four States. This is Luke Taylor, and welcome to another edition of This Week in Crowder College. And today we have on the program with us Dr. Chett Daniel. He is the new, I think we can still say new, the new president out there at Crowder College. And so, hey, sir, thank you for joining us here on the program.
I appreciate you having me on. Yeah, it's not quite been a year yet since I was named interim president, so we can still call it new.
Yeah. Well, hey, congratulations on that new appointment, and best wishes to you in that role.
Thank you.
Yeah. So there was a study that was done by Zenith Economics, and it was about the importance of Crowder to our local area. And I think we want people just to know about some of the findings of that study. So tell us about that. Yeah,
we partnered with Zenith Economics to conduct an economic impact study for a couple of reasons. One, we haven't done one in the past year at Crowder, and so we needed to at least get some baseline data. And then beyond that, we wanted people to understand, and we wanted to evaluate for ourselves, what is the impact economically that having a community college like Crowder has in an area. And so Crowder came to this area in the 1960s. In 1963, as many people know, we occupy a portion of an old Army base, and we still use many of the buildings today. Like a lot of rural areas, we use the assets that exist, and then we build upon those to create new value. Mm-hmm. And we've been doing that for over 60 years here at Crowder. And we exist as part of a taxing district, and then we also receive tax funds from the state. And what we want people to understand is the return on investment of tax dollars, and what does that do for the region economically? And what the report found is that for every public dollar invested in Crowder, we're giving about $2.30 back in return, and that isn't even accounting for our alumni earnings. And so what I mean by that is, so if we get a tax dollar, we're going to generate $2.30 in economic return. But that's not taking into account the fact that the products that we produce here at the college, we don't produce widgets for machines. We produce students with earnings. And so one of the things that we looked at is we said, okay, well, over the last 5 years, how many nurses have we graduated? We've graduated 631 nurses. Each of them start with an earnings around $49,000 to $50,000 a year. So that means we've helped create $31 million in earnings among individuals over the last 5 years. And what that does economically for the region is it's pretty impactful. Because one, we've taken people who live in a rural area that may have been looking at minimum wage type jobs, and we've provided a pathway for them to access the middle class. And the other thing that we do with that is when you have 630 people earning $50,000 a year or more at an entry-level wage, then in terms of what they can consume, purchase homes, buy things from restaurants, that is feeding additional economic activity in the area that keeps our area resilient economically. And I think the last part of it is helping students, community members, understand that we do provide those pathways and access to middle class. Right now, we're entering a time in the economy when things are changing rapidly and things seem uncertain about job prospects. We have been and will continue to be a place that is adapting to meet the area workforce needs to ensure that we're providing that financial stability for area families as they access education opportunities that give them access to in-demand careers in the area.
Okay. Yeah. So without Crowder, Neosho, Missouri, and the surrounding area, we would look a lot different, wouldn't we?
That actually, there's actually a section in the report, and I don't have it open in front of me right now, or I'd scroll down to it and read it. But it says something to the tune of, you should consider a counterfactual scenario that if Crowder College did not exist, that one, there wouldn't be proximity to access to these careers, because Crowder College, while our main campus is in Neosho, we have a location in McDonald County, just across the state line. We have a location in Cassville. We have a location in Nevada and in Webb City and Joplin. And so throughout the 9-county service region, we are providing proximal, nearby locations for individuals to access in-demand career pathways, and helping, by doing that, helping grow and strengthen and provide some resilience for the economies in those rural communities in our area. And without us, people would have to travel further. And in most cases, they would have to pay more money for their education, because we are a pretty great value when considering alternatives.
And not just travel further, but some people might not even try at all. They think, it'd be too hard to go out and, get a career, get a degree in some other field. And so they might never even advance in those to where their life could go. Well,
right. And while this isn't part of the economic impact study, I think it's worth mentioning that at Crowder, we have federal programs like AEL. AEL is Adult Education and Literacy, which works with individuals who may not have completed high school due to life circumstances. When you look at some of our programs, the largest number of people entering those programs are coming from high school equivalency pathways. So these are individuals that, as an adult, they earned a high school equivalency and then began a program of study and completed that program of study, and in many cases passed an industry-recognized credential and then accessed the middle class. So these are individuals that are starting below the bottom rung in terms of, access to opportunities. But we have programs, some of them federally funded, that allow them to access these pathways and create a middle-class opportunity. And ultimately, that is the function of what tax dollars can be used for, is to help people access opportunities and create those middle-class opportunities that we identify with here in rural areas.
Well, just maybe one more question this morning, sir. I know Crowder has just a lot of different fields of study people can pursue, but did this economic study that you all did it reveal any maybe just top industries that are especially benefited by Crowder's presence here in the local area?
Yeah, it did. One of the top industries, not surprisingly, when you're helping people access the middle class, you're helping them access the ability to purchase real estate. And so real estate is one of the top areas that benefits from us being here, because people are able to purchase homes and the churn of home buying. We also we have a lot of manufacturing in this area. And so the fact that we provide career pathways, and many of them, people don't know what a program logic controller is or an industrial maintenance technician is. They're not as familiar with those career paths as nurses. But the trades are making an incredible comeback right now, and career opportunities in those fields for individuals to work in those fields provide a really good living wage. And we are an economic hub of industrial manufacturing in this area. And so they benefit healthcare, obviously with our allied health and nursing programs, and then retail from the purchasing power from individuals, that are earning higher wages are able to purchase. So retail and hospitality are probably among the top ones.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm happy to hear that. And then, one more thing I'll mention is you talked about the different branch campuses that you all have, and so all the different, not just Neosho, but different other local communities who are benefit from Crowder's presence. But especially Joplin's about to get a real big boost because you all are opening a new campus up there. Can you tell us just a little bit about that before we go?
Thank you for the opportunity to talk about it. Yeah, so we've been in Joplin actually since 2017. Thanks to the Joplin Chamber of Commerce, we were able to lease a facility right next to them in downtown Joplin. But we had an opportunity a few years ago to buy the old Victory Bridge location over by Sam's Club in Joplin, and it essentially is allowing us to double our square footage of space that we have available. And so we purchased the building, we've been remodeling it, and we will do a ribbon cutting on that building on January 26th at 1:30 p.m. And that the programs that are offered there are workforce-centered programs. So those are advanced manufacturing, industrial maintenance, welding, computer network support, engineering technology, surgical technology, medical assisting. So, when I talk about providing career pathways to in-demand job opportunities, the investment that we're making up there, and again, coupled with tax dollars, we're creating pathways to opportunities that help individuals access the middle class.
All right. Well, hey, we've been speaking today with Dr. Chett Daniel. He is the newest president out there at Crowder College, and so really glad to hear about all these different findings from this study. And we know that Crowder is important to our area, but we just hope everybody else knows it as well. And so, hey, sir, thank you so much for joining us here on KNEO.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to This Week in Crowder College. This Week in Crowder College is sponsored by the law offices of Wood and Peterson in Neosho. You can listen to this broadcast again by going online to kneo.org or to crowder.edu. Tune in once again next week for another edition of This Week in Crowder College on KNEO 91.7 FM.